My, July 17th, Anthony. We made it through another week. It's Friday. I can't believe how fast it went.
I like our logo so much.
Right? It's very dominant, very boom in your face, just like we're going to be today. Man,
and here we are.
Yeah, I love that new opening. It's so much fun.
So you know what? I'm in a good mood and I'm in a not great mood.
Oh.
And I'll tell you why. I'm in a good mood because a lot of my clients are really busy, and that makes me happy. They're busy. They're in the right locations, and doing great. Matter of fact, one of my clients is actually his average rate is much higher than it was last year. His occupancy is a little bit lower the way he wants it, just so there's not so many people on his property, and it's great. And so that's good news. Not so great news.
Not so good news. Hey, thank you, Robert Miller, for liking the intro. We're very proud of. Producer Jeff did a really good job on that. All right.
So
my positive feelings for today.
So what's also good news is Colleen, my friend, your ties are in the mail. I personally sent them. I wanted to make sure they got in the mail, and they got in the mail quickly. And so those ties are on their way. The not great news is another hotel in New York City has closed for good.
Which
one is that, Glenn? Do you remember?
The W downtown. I can't believe that hotel is closing. I remember when it opened, and it was the first hotel that had indoor grass, and it went up the steps. And I thought that was a really cool little design element. Really,
the first hotel that had indoor grass was the first hotel you went to in college.
What?
You bought the grass.
I think I probably enjoyed a little too much of that recently, and it made me a little brain dead.
so I'm really excited about the show because I love innovation and creativity, and I love when great companies and partners of this industry come up with something to really help our industry. So I'm really excited.
Well, before we do that, I want to thank Paul for sending me this really cool hotel puzzle. I'm going to get my geek on as soon as I have a day off to go ahead and build.
Hey, Paul, can you send me one too, please? Thank you. I tried to find it on Amazon. I couldn't find it.
All right, Paul, I'm going to send you an official thank you note, but I got that last night, and I wanted to say thank you to it. So I'm excited because we've got my old friend Steve Tipton on. He's the VP of Hospitality with Serta Simmons, and they've got an exciting new technology, don't they?
They do. And here again, once again, an old friend of Glenn's.
I know. Well,
is there anyone in this industry that is not an old friend of Glenn's?
And if you aren't, why aren't you? Let's get together. Let's hang out. Let's bond. But in the meantime, let's bring on Mr. Tipton. Steve, great to see you, sir.
Hi, Steve. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, Anthony. How are you?
I'm great.
This is going really great so far. I'm glad that we're all doing well. We're all doing great. Steve, you've been back over there at Serta Simmons Bedding for getting on 9-10 months now, and it's very exciting to see you back in that position. I got to know you all those years ago as you had started that, so that's pretty cool that you're back. How's that experience been for you, sir?
It's been pretty amazing. We have such a great company. Our leadership is just so solid. Everybody is focused on growing. The hospitality business is tremendous. When you look at Serta and Simmons Hospitality, the combined businesses certainly indicate that it would be the largest provider of hospitality product in the world. The two great iconic brands that are part of our portfolio, standalone, are tremendous suppliers to the hospitality industry and to all the brands and great independent boutique properties, the likes. It's just been a lot of fun, and we have a great team. And as I said, great leadership. David
Fortune says you're the best team, Steve.
We are the best team.
Ray Berger says good morning. I know you know our buddy Ray over there.
So one of the things I want to talk about is, in this industry, there have been legacy partners, and your company's one of those. And whether it be inventions in this industry. And I remember, and we talked a little bit about this off camera, about being in Times Square. I was running a hotel in Times Square. I may have been running, I don't remember which hotel I was running. Maybe it was the West End. I don't remember. But anyway, I was in Times Square, and I remember when there was this big campaign for the Heavenly Bed. What is the backstory of that? And I said to myself, I slapped myself in the head and go, it's the bed, stupid. And we really, for a long time as hoteliers, we worried about marble, and we worried about, we worried about amenities, and we even worried about linen, but we didn't really worry about the bed. And then this was like the moment that got all of us kind of like, oh, that's right. We got to concentrate on the bed because that's where we spend most of our time when we're in the hotel room. So tell a little bit about how that came to be.
It's a pretty good story. And, one thing about the industry, there are amazing entrepreneurial stories to talk about. And this is one of them. Times Square opened up, and we had put a product into the room as a white bed. And immediately guests came downstairs and wanted to buy the bed and take it home. And Barry Sternlicht, who I think is just one of the great innovators in the hotel industry, fundamentally saw that happening, picked up the phone and called Sue Brosh, who led the Westin brand for years, one of the first women to lead a hotel brand. And he called her up and said, they're wanting to buy this bed. I want to have one for the Westin. Let's make it white, call it Heavenly. Click.
So there was a lot of customer research.
A lot of market research into that, and that's kind of the folklore story. But it was about, he understood it was about the bed. Stupid.
I'm amazed that nobody made that epiphany ahead of time, and it was always considered as also not the thing.
For years, the hotel and even in casinos, as an example, the last place people wanted somebody to get arrested was in the room. They wanted them gambling or hotels and activities. And the bed was kind of a afterthought. And they were skinny. They didn't make a statement when you walk in the room like you've arrived and that you're special. And then when you lay on the bed, you didn't get the ooh-ah or the feeling that
it also did something.
Place to be. And
it also did something that I hadn't seen before. Mm-hmm. It got people to buy stuff out of a hotel room.
Right.
Instead of stealing stuff, they started buying stuff. And right, like how many Heavenly Beds were sold?
How many people stole mattresses is what I want to know. How do you
I've actually had it.
It's a little tougher to take out of the room than like a television, but it was it is today a tremendous program. Even now, as part of the Marriott family, the Heavenly Bed at Home and all those different structures that we have across the platform are tremendous opportunities for guests to take their experience home, and they do. And if this was 1995, nobody's taking your bed home because you may be sleeping on something better in your house, but Heavenly Bed changed that.
Yeah, and when people ask me what bed should I buy, I was like, "Did you ever hear of the Heavenly Bed?" Yeah, but is there any other bed? I was like, "That's the one that I go to."
I have a son.
It's just amazing how, and that's what's great about having a nimble, excited, passionate entrepreneur in the business, because that one phone call made everything happen. In so many companies and in so many industries, there's so many layers that has to be funneled through a focus group. Is this what we should do? Is this what the customer wants? That one phone call lit the entire industry on fire.
It changed absolutely everything, our entire perception of everything. And Steve, I got to tell you, I've been sleeping comfortable on a bed that you helped me acquire a good 10 years ago. And now you're on the cusp of big changes. And it's got me thinking in this period of time, I might need to get myself a new bed. So you guys have a great new product out there. I can't believe you're first to market with an antimicrobial type of a mattress. How amazing is that?
So it's kind of interesting. I rejoined Serta Simmons in November, and we had been working on some stuff in 2014 along this line. And my first conversation after I came back is, where are the files with all that stuff? And so we began, and so there were lots of other things that we're doing. We redid all of our product lines, refreshed them with, as far as fabrics and stuff like that go. And then we were having this conversation with HiQ. And then it was almost parallel with when the COVID crisis began to develop. And so we were a little bit down the road on it. And all of a sudden, it became evident that if there was something that we can do to help hotel owners and consumers feel safer and more protected when they sleep, we should do that. And ViroBlock is, by HiQ, is the solution that we implemented on our hospitality products and are going to launch on retail product also.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. Now, for those of you who don't know, and I know it's hard to believe that maybe HiQ is not a household name, but they're a Switzerland-based leader in textile innovations, and they're the ones that have actually come up with this antimicrobial technology that, when applied to your bedding, is pretty much a game changer. Once it, in my opinion, once it's going to come out and hit market.
So, Steve, this isn't like one bed. This is like this is a product that goes into all of your mattresses. Explain that a little bit.
So every one of our Serta Perfect Sleeper and Beauty Rest products and our Simmons products, which is a new line that we'll introduce in hospitality, all will be treated with ViroBlock. And ViroBlock is more than just antimicrobial treatments. That's part of things that we have done previously. But this also has a property that will dispose of a virus on contact.
And how does that work?
It's embedded into the fabric and is quite effective. But you talked about medical equipment. That's the segue into this. So HiQ developed this during the SARS epidemic, or back in 19, I think, or 17, 18, so right in there. And for masks, gowns, and curtains for hospitals, because you could make it a permanent treatment. It's not a spray. You don't spray this on, and spray doesn't work in this category. And then they kind of put it on the shelf. And then as this all began to develop, it was like, wow, it's already here. And great tribute to our research and development people. They reached out and realized this was the thing. We had it.
So one of the things right now in the industry is I'm a big fan of saying this is a revenue-driven business. This is not an expense-driven business. You got to watch your expenses, but if you're not driving revenue, you have a problem. Right now, we have to drive whatever revenue we can, but if we're not watching our expenses, that's a problem. How much more expensive is this mattress than a regular mattress? Because that's going to be a big question for a lot of people.
So let me put this, let's frame this just a bit for you so you'll understand us. When this became available, our CEO said that we're not going to profit on this condition and tragedy that's going on in the world.
Wow.
Right? Really? So Dave Swift, who's just a tremendous leader of the company, made the decision that we would go out in the hospitality industry with ViroBlock, put it onto the beds, and launch it at a cost-neutral basis for all of our hotel owners.
Wow!
So I can't tell you how proud I am, and everybody's in the business to make money. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I can't tell you how proud I am as a company that we took this stance and realized that our job was to be part of the solution and not to take advantage of what I consider a world tragedy in this process. So we're not going to do that. And we've gone to all of the major brands. We've showed the product to all of them, and we made that very clear to each and every one of our partners.
So no
So
matter what, I'm sorry, Steve, go ahead.
So as an independent hotel owner or a brand or a management company, our goal is to be part of the solution for them to help bring their guests back in their hotel.
So no matter what mattress you get, there's no additional cost. It's just something you're doing to ensure there's extra safety for the guest. If I'm being clear.
And it's not a cure-all. So we were talking earlier before we went on air. It's a little bit like a layer cake, and you have to bring several different elements to bear in a hotel, all of which are part of a solution that will make a guest feel comfortable and safe and trust staying in the hotel. And if our product with ViraBlock on it is part of that solution, one layer in that cake, that's a big deal.
That is a big deal. And now you got me, of course, thinking about cake. So thanks for that, Steve.
It's a big deal too, because there's not extra expense. So if I had somebody else's mattress, I had your mattress, and it has this technology on it, why in God's name would I do it? So because it's another layer, and it's another thing I always talk about. Visual cues. It's another thing I can put in my literature to tell my client that I'm using electrostatic sprayer. I'm using this kind of technique to clean the rooms. And by the way, and our mattress has this technology. I mean, and it doesn't cost the hotel any more money. It's ridiculously easy.
So
the only way you get it on a bed is to buy the bed,
right?
But we will also be launching in the next quarter mattress pad and mattress encasements that will be treated with ViraBlock, and we will do that with a licensed partner that we have. It is already rolling, and we will be able to sell those directly as part of our sales organization, and also it will be distributed through the normal channels that all of our hotel partners use to purchase product. Well-known textile partner, and it'll be great stuff. So we're going to have Plan B for those hotels that can't afford to put new beds in their hotel.
Right. That's pretty impressive. So what do I have to do? Like, I install this and then I have to deal with it in like a month or two and like spray it or something like that. Keep that technology going.
That's a really interesting point. So early on, as we were finishing this development, I had a conversation with two really top people that are involved in making sure rooms stay clean companies. And their biggest frustration was soft seating and fabric, because the efficacy of spray when it comes to antiviral is very problematic. And the difference between what that is and what we do, our product, as the fabric is woven, the product then goes through an immersion process and is embedded into the fabric, and then it is cured. So when the fabric then goes to our factories to be applied, it's already it's ready to go. There's not a switch you have to turn on, and you don't have to go spray every 90 days or things like that. And not saying that some of those applications aren't effective, but this becomes just a very simple, straightforward way to handle it.
But Steve, we got one interesting question here. It sounds like it's almost like a Scotch Guard from material, but I think it goes deeper than that. Scotch Guard is more of a covering, where this is more of an integral part of the process of creating the product.
This is the process that we use embeds the ViraBlock solution into the fabric, and then it is cured, and it is part of the cell. So when a virus cell, which is incredibly small, by the way, it'll drop right through a pillowcase, like it was not there.
Really?
Or a sheet. But when it hits the mattress fabric, and I don't know any other way to say this, but there is the properties of the solution attract the virus cell to it. Now you could use the Star Trek term of it's a tractor beam, but that's probably not the case.
We don't want the Paramount people.
But it almost
for taking
works the
Star
same
Trek.
way. It almost works the same way. And the virus molecule is attracted to, and it's a silver compound, attract to it. And the fatty tissue of the virus, and I know way too much about this and probably am not saying it, but it becomes in contact because the virus itself is pretty fragile.
Right.
You must be fun at a cocktail party, Steve.
I know.
I know.
We're going to call him Dr. Tipton from now on.
Well, you should see when you just start talking about bed bugs. But anyway,
listen,
when you have
to go down
that'll be another show. The exoskeleton, though, comes in contact with a silver solution in a very short period of time. And what is very short? Minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And it's done. And it's gone.
So what you're basically saying is just so I'm lying in bed and I cough a little bit because I'm laying too flat and I start getting all clogged up and I start coughing up and all of my detritus.
It's not a pretty picture.
It's not a pretty picture. I mean, look, this is not a pretty picture.
After lunchtime, that'll help.
Hopefully you have pajamas on.
All right, so I'm having an allergy problem. I cough a little bit, and I know that it's going to get all over the place. It's going to go through the sheets of what you're talking about because the molecules for this disease are so small, they basically just free fall right through that, and then they become embedded in the mattress.
Yeah.
But the next guest doesn't have to worry about it. Even if I leave the room, they change the sheets and come back because in the mattress, it gets caught with that tractor beam-like substance and then destroys, which is relatively fragile virus to begin with. It's just a matter of getting it caught and taken care of quickly.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Wow, you sound like a scientist almost, Glenn.
That was pretty good.
I know, right?
You could put a white coat on you, Glenn.
It took me 10 seconds to just get over the whole bed coughing pajamas thing.
Yeah, well, you should deal with my wife. She's still kidding.
So let's go back to the real point here. This is really serious stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad news. And what we need to do is find product, which we have, that will help a hotel owner create a safe environment in their hotel. And we're going to do that. We call it a safer sleep initiative. It is, and it works. And it's important for us as a company who is in a leadership position in this industry that we do the very best we can to do that. You can see here that early on the product was used for gowns, and you see the ViraBlock technology that was used on them. And
so when will it be ready? When will it be ready for hotels to actually buy it?
We'll start shipping in September.
Okay.
And that will be both the Beauty Rest and the Serta Perfect Sleeper hospitality lines, which are all in the process of being redone. In fact, we're actually doing photography as we speak, getting ready to launch the product. And we are very excited about it. And our team, we have about 60 team members that support our hotels across the country, and they're very excited to get going with it. It does also, just as it affects bacteria that's involved with influenza, bacteria, and allergens too. So it's a total package. And quite frankly, it's designed to last, have an efficacy of 20 years in the mattress, with the exception of the virus protection. And let me just get this out there. The virus protection is good for 3 years. And you go, wait a minute. It's only good for 3 years. What about the other rest of it's 20? That's quite true. So what does that mean? Well, it means at no cost to you for 3 years after you put this in your hotel, you're going to have virus protection on this bed. And we consider that a long runway to other solutions. And if we can buy 3 years worth of time in this product and provide this solution, I'm not real sure, but I'm pretty sure somebody will find something 3 years from now, and hopefully it's us, that lasts longer. Because, viruses will continue to be with us. I mean, the flu is with us every day.
And this is perfect timing because a lot of hotels are taking the opportunity now to renovate their hotels.
No,
Renovate your hotels. What's that?
You're exactly right, Anthony, and you understand this better than anybody else. A hotel that is full and wants to go through renovations and changes is a very expensive proposition because you're going to lose room nights.
Steve, I'll give you an example. I was at the Algonquin Hotel, true story, and I work with Miller Global, and I'm in Home Depot. We're about to renovate the hotel, and we only have 2 elevators. We have no service elevator. We have only 2 elevators in the whole hotel.
My favorite hotel.
Well, thank you. It's my favorite. And so, I'm literally thinking we're about to start this renovation in a month, and I want to close the hotel. But how did I tell that to the owners? I'm in the Home Depot parking lot in Coney Island. I'll never forget this as long as I live. And I called up my asset manager, and I said, hey, the owners are coming in, but no, they weren't coming in. I said, hey, I want to propose that we close the hotel. He goes, do a cash flow against it. I said, okay. They fly in probably like 5 days later from Denver, true story. And I give them 2 scenarios. Okay, closing some rooms without food and beverage, and then closing food and beverage and then the rooms. And I showed them the how much you would lose or gain. I don't remember exactly what it was. And they're like, okay, is there another option? And I said, yes. The third option is close the hotel, and this is how much money you're going to lose. You're going to lose, I think the number was, $600,000 or whatever it was. You're going to lose this number. He goes, well, why would we do that? I said, because the second there is a problem where we have to displace business for longer than 29 days, because I can do this renovation in 29 days, this is how much money you're going to save if you close it and open in 29 days. If we have any problems and when the hotel is open, we're going to displace this kind of business. And we did the whole cash flow, and we closed the building. And Mike Lyons, who was a bellman at the Algonquin Hotel for 50 years, comes over to me, taps me on the shoulder. I'll never forget. He goes, I heard we're closing. I go, yes, sir. He said, congratulations. We've had 7 renovations since I'm here. World War II didn't close the renovation. The Depression didn't close the hotel. Anti-microbial is going to close the Algonquin Hotel. That was a good idea. And he walked away from me. Well, he put me in panic mode. So I had 177 old mattresses in the lobby. And anyway, we reopened. And guess what mattress we used, my friend? You guys made us the Algonquin mattress.
Yeah.
One of the most comfortable mattresses our guests have ever slept on. That's a true story. So, yes, I know this problem as well as anyone.
All right, we've got another question. Steve, do you want to say no, or should I say no? Is this the same silver solution the FDA told Jim Baker to cease and desist advertising?
I don't know who Jim Baker is.
No, the answer is no.
The answer is no. Don't worry about it. The answer is absolutely no.
Jim Baker was also
selling silver solution to prevent COVID.
No, that was completely different.
Not related. I only brought it up there in order to say that it has nothing to do with this particular product. So don't even think that.
Yeah, Jim Baker was also selling 500 pounds of baked beans for like $2,000 in case the world came to an end. So yeah, they shut him down. So yes, right now if you're renovating, it's a good idea to use this product because, and again, it's another tool in your toolbox. Right now, guests are there's several types of guests. We all know those guests, right? The ones that are hypervigilant, the ones that are kind of in the middle, and the ones that are like they don't care about anything. Right now, those people that don't care about anything are kind of in the middle, and the people that were in the middle are hypervigilant. And so there's a lot of hypervigilant people that are traveling, and I get a call every single day from a friend saying, hey, I'm about to travel, and is it safe to go to a hotel? And the answer is yes.
And that shouldn't, what we're going to do in our product shouldn't be construed as saying that if you don't put our product in a room, your hotel's not safe, because that wouldn't be right to say.
Right.
As I say, we're a layer in the cake. And it's another layer you can add as a hotel owner to make your hotel safe and have guests trust to stay there. We want America to travel. We want America to get back into hotels. We want business travel to return. And all of those things will happen when people feel safe, and we're going to get there. And all we can do is our part. And that's
and the brands and AHLA and AHOA, they've all done an amazing job with all their safety and cleanliness programs, and everyone's kind of working together. And this is another initiative where your company is not making a penny off of this, where you're working together with the community, and this community has really come together in the last 4 months.
Well, AHLA and AHOA both are tremendous organizations that have really leaned into this and are doing just great work to bring this around. Chip at AHLA and the team at AHOA are just, amongst the brands, are just great partners, and we're going to make this work.
Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to just underscore a point that we had already discussed, but somebody is asking about bacteria and whether that handles. So I'll just bring up this great graphic once again. Yes. See, bacteria is right there. So it's not just COVID, influenza, bacteria, allergens, all of those sorts of things are covered here. And that was,
that's kind of bundled into antimicrobial type stuff, but yeah.
Yep. All right, cool. So now I could take that off. So it seems to me, Steve, all things being equal, and I'm replacing my mattresses, I would definitely go with something that has this technology as a part of it rather than doesn't. So 3 years to me sounds like a great runway, especially if it's at no additional charge in order to do it. I mean, in my opinion, I couldn't see going in any other direction at this point. It adds another layer of safety and security and confidence for the guest. And that's what this is really all about at the end of the day, making sure everybody feels comfortable.
There's a great question about international work. So let me kind of tell you about that. We, as a company, we really have as seamless a network of branded suppliers to hospitality worldwide as any company has got. And there's always some place where there's a seam. But we have, in fact, we just launched this, the conversation with them 2 days ago with our international partners, our Serta manufacturing partners.
So that sounds like you're going to be in places other than North America.
Absolutely.
So you anticipate these questions coming up. So please continue, and we'll answer Steve's question as you do it.
Yeah. So we are going to have our international partners will be part of this initiative, and they're very excited about it.
Excellent. Right.
I'm trying not to interrupt you. I see another question coming.
Yeah, go ahead. You want to take it?
Well, just to digress for a second. You guys are old friends, and I won't hold that against you, Steve.
Yeah, stop saying that we're old, man. You keep doing that.
So how'd you meet this guy?
Wow.
Mostly I was begging for money on a corner on the street of Manhattan, and he took me in, fed me, clothed
poker
me.
Game. I walked in the room. Poker game. There was Glenn sitting over there, had a cigar in his mouth.
He lost a poker game. Had to take
away from him.
He used to support. Steve used to support an event that I was a speaker at regularly, and as I was learning how to be a speaker, usually what would happen is he would do a presentation first thing in the morning. He'd be really awesome at it, and then I would be foisted onto stage to have to try to compete with his skills. So he kept me on my toes for a lot of years.
Yeah, and Anthony, I've been a big fan of your show. You attack it with such passion and sensitivity.
Well, thank you, my friend. And I will tell you something. I can't announce it yet, but I will just say there's something in the works. And if this is a time in our industry that we haven't seen before, and 10 years, almost 9 years, we were doing the show, and we did 2 other spinoffs of the show. So I want to get back to being a hotelier, not a TV guy. And but it's time that we kind of look at that again, because there's a lot of hotels in trouble, and there's a lot of opportunity to help. So I'll just say, stay tuned.
Well, hotel business is close to my heart. My youngest son is in the industry and just went back to work this last week. We're really excited about that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So do you need like government approvals or anything like that to have some sort of agency sign
Really
off on
good,
that?
really good question. So the product itself has gone through extensive approvals. Of course, it's it's a product out of Switzerland, and it's gone through all the approval processes in Switzerland to be approved, and including a part of the European Medical Device Directive and German EPA. And in the United States, the product is completely approved to apply to the fabric. We need, and we're in the process of doing this, for us to have a public claim about viral protection. We have the efficacy is proved, but we're in the final stages of working with the U.S. government when it comes to being able to say that claim, and so we're working on that.
Excellent. What about you had mentioned?
It doesn't stop the launch. It just is an important part of what we'll do. So.
Right. So you'd mentioned encasements and stuff coming at some point. So, we got a question from Daniel, who's a hotelier. Do you see encasements coming more in demand to cover an existing mattress? Will you be offering them? I think you said you will be working on that as well, right?
Yeah, encasements aren't new to the industry. Encasements serve a purpose. If you're going to put encasements on your mattresses in a hotel, I mean, it's not a cheap proposition, let alone buying the encasement because the labor is pretty onerous. But that works. And obviously a lot of people use encasements because it also protects against bed bugs and has done that very effectively. On the other hand, we also will have a mattress pad, like a couple of different styles that will go on top of the bed. So the top of the bed is where all the action is anyway, because that's where the virus would land. And so for those that aren't buying the bed, they'll be able to buy a mattress pad and put on the top of it. And of course, there's a certain amount of washing that can be done that you will not damage the efficacy of the product. And that's all outlined by the people that do that. And I'm not the linen guy, but we are certainly down the road with supporting our owners with a mattress pad solution and with an encasement solution. So
cool. That's really helpful. Anthony, you got a little smile there. What do you think?
I got a smile because there was a joke in there and I decided not to say it. But I just got something posted that it says, we bought the Algonquin Hotel and our prospective GM was allergic to cats. How best to handle this situation? Jason, how are you, buddy? Jason was the asset manager of the hotel at a point of the Algonquin Hotel. And yes, it's true that I had to go to a doctor to get shots because I was allergic to the house cat, Matilda. But at least I wasn't like my friend Dave Johnstone that wanted to take Matilda to Cody, Wyoming and put her out to pasture. But yeah, hey, Jason, nice to see you. So what other question we have out there, my friend?
Well, I think we've answered pretty much all the questions. Now, people are mostly just saying hello to everyone, and they really appreciate it.
Hello to everybody.
So
Steve, you're seeing it, right? You're talking to a lot of people. You've been in the business a long time. You're seeing people renovate rooms. You're seeing people. We just talked to a couple of people at the Drew Hotel in Las Vegas. They're doubling down on their investment. The hospitality industry is coming back. It's going to come back strong. It's going to come back better than ever. And one of the things that I've said, and I said it to my own family, I said, people need things to look forward to. This is really important. The one thing that we all look forward to is our vacation. That is the one thing when everything else goes wrong, whether your job is stressful or the economy's not great or whatever's happening, the one thing as a family, we're like, hey, the kids are coming back from college, let's all just go on vacation. It is the one thing that can never be taken away from people because it's the one thing that keeps us wanting to keep on going. And I think that is critical for people to understand. The industry's taking a hit, but we're coming back, and we're coming back with companies like you helping us, and I appreciate that. So what do you think? Again, are you pretty optimistic about the industry and it coming back in the next 6 to 12 months?
Yes, I'm very optimistic. I'm probably an optimist to begin with. But the facts would tell you that the industry will rebound. How fast and in which segment it does it first would be the big question. There would be those that would say that the destination properties, anywhere around entertainment, the water, or whatever, are first in line, and they've already seen that. And then the second part of that is how much business travel comes back and how quickly it comes back and what will it be after it does. At the end of the day, looking a client in the eye and having a conversation in person or breaking bread with a customer is something that's part of our life. And so some of that, and that's going to continue. It may be a little while before it comes back. It may be a little while before we're prepared to shake somebody's hand. But someday we'll be there. And I have a lot of faith that that'll happen. And the resilience of hotel owners. This is not the first tough time that a hotel owner's been through in the history of hotels. And it probably won't be the last. But hotel owners are entrepreneurs and in general, and they're tough and they work hard and they overcome difficulties, and they will here too.
Steve, we're getting more questions that I know you want to answer. First one is, will these beds be available for cruise lines?
Whoa, I hope so.
Yeah. And then also you were mentioning
the first thing I want to see is I want to see the boat start floating and be full of people and have them trust being there. And the cruise line's been just devastated, and everybody hopes that becomes a viable outlet for people to go have fun.
Yeah, and I think their mattresses could play a role in that. What about encasements and mattress pads being available in September, or will they be a little bit behind?
Maybe October.
Okay.
Not far.
That's cool.
Well,
Yeah.
as soon as cruise ships are available, I am going on a cruise. I love cruising more than anyone.
It's a lot of fun, isn't it?
You love cruising more than anyone?
More than anything. But I love anything more than I love you, Glenn.
Thank you. Well, being friends with me.
If it's Wednesday, it must be Mexico.
Right. Yeah, I've always wanted to go to places like Puerto Vallarta just because the Love Boat made them sound.
I was going to say, because the Love Boat went there. Love Boat made that place like epic.
Yeah, sure.
Everybody cares about what's going on. We're going to make this work.
So, Steve, when we get back to it, where do you want to go on vacation? Where do you most want to be able to sleep comfortably in one of your new mattresses with viral block protection?
Well, I'm going to the beach next week.
Oh,
I'm going to go to Ocean Isle Beach, just North Carolina, just north of Myrtle Beach. I have some dear friends that have a place there, and we're all going to. It's easy for me to work there as it is here, and I can stick my toe in the water every once in a while and kind of get away. So my wife and I and some friends we're going to go spend some time there. But
So you just said it. You just said it's easier for me to work there than it is for here. Are you, as a business executive, do you see what is the long-term corporate travel look like? Do you think that all this social media, all this Zooming, all this conferencing via video, do you think it's going to have an impact going forward? So say we come out of this in 6 months, 18 months, 36 months, whatever it is. We're talking 3, 4, 5 years from now. Do you think it's going to have a 5%, 10%, 15% impact on corporate travel where people say, hey, we don't have to travel as much. We're still going to travel. We don't have to travel as much. So 10% of our corporate business is going to be gone. What do you think?
I think that the business travel will recover slowly. I think that there is, I'll use the term video conferencing fatigue. And it certainly is a very effective way to communicate, and you communicate fast and you can get a lot of things done. So I think that the companies today, including ours, certainly understands, if you're not spending 2.5 hours commuting back and forth to work, you can get stuff done. And I certainly do. I mean, I start my day at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I get up, I read, and I sit down at my desk, and Next thing I know, it's 6:30. And but there is something to say about face-to-face encounters, and that relationship that we have. The hospitality business is a relationship business, and most businesses are in one form or another. And some of them have changed a little bit, and there's no question. And will video conferencing and items like this become more effective and being used more and cut down on some travel? Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it'll be interesting because a lot of people will be working remotely, and these conferences and these meetings that we have a lot of in our industry, that will be a place for the companies to come together too. So if, like, I know companies that are basically closing their office in New York, and they're looking forward to those, quarterly meetings or even monthly meetings on the road. That's where they're going to basically have their meetings, and they're going to basically save on office space. So there's a lot of different ways to go about it. But I think long term, if I had a crystal ball, I think we're going to lose about 10% of corporate business, but that's going to somehow incorporate itself somehow else into our business.
A good example is design work. So I've worked with for 4 years with an office of 20 design team members, great talent. We had a library of samples and stuff like that. It's pretty hard to tell what the texture of a piece of tile is and what the true color it is on a video screen.
Yeah.
So they're just going to be elements that are different, but and this isn't about good or bad or when it's going to happen. It's probably a natural evolution that's going to happen in how we communicate in business, and this just probably accelerated it a little bit.
Right. We agree. All of these trends are already in the marketplace. It's just a matter of accelerating them now. Things are coming along a little bit quicker than we expected. As you can take smart hospitality people to be able to adjust accordingly. But Steve, I like your point though that people still need to go out there. They still need to interact. They still need to do business in a meaningful way. In particular, I love your example of showing the samples and stuff like that to get the color and feel right in the design business as well.
You can't tell how a mattress feels on a video call.
Right.
Maybe someday, but not today.
That is absolutely true.
And we're going to do that as a company. We have a great vision on how we're going to present product in the future. And some of it is still going to be face-to-face. And there are things that just can't replace that. But you certainly can be a better business person about how you do it. And we're going to look at that and be part of that.
So, Steve, this is the part of our show where we play trivia. Every day we play trivia at this time, exactly at this time, right, Glenn? 7:47.
12:49 all the time, trivia.
Who invented the electric blanket?
Serta Simmons and the Simmons Company.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You told me off camera before.
Yeah. But our whole industrial history, whether it be cars or electronics or light bulbs, is fascinating. And Serta has an amazing history of how they've established hospitality, and Simmons, which is our parent company name of the Beautyrest product. Mr. Simmons, it's the only mattress company that was ever named after the guy that owned it. Was an innovator. He produced a coil spring mattress back when and made it so the masses could sleep on a good bed. Because up to that time, it was a good mattress was something that was kind of isolated for the privileged. And he realized that you could mass produce those and that you could put a mattress under about everybody in America. And he intended to do that. But he was kind of wild. I mean, he invented the cog railroad at Pikes Peak. And you go, well, what did he do that for? Well, because he had glass insulators that he was selling to put on top of the telephone poles for the telegraph lines to go across the Continental Divide. And he realized that if we sent them up there by train, it was cheaper, or some version thereof. It's just an interesting thing. And I'm a great fan of the history of in general, but that one in particular.
Well, I'm about to change the mattress business big time because I'm inventing one that's filled with cat hair instead of horse hair, just because I know Anthony's going to like that.
What would you do with all that money that's stuffed into your mattress?
Oh, that's true. I counted it just last night. I have nearly enough for a 6-pack of chicken McNuggets, so I'm very excited about that. I can afford 3 nuggets right now, but I'm hoping to get to 4 soon enough. So, Steve, before we wrap up, let's just go through these points once again. You've got this great mattress. It's coming in September. How can we learn more about it? How can we interact with you and your team to hear more about this product?
Well, first of all, you can go to sertasimmons.com.
You can see that scrolling along the bottom right now, everyone.
Scrolling on the bottom. And the second thing is we'll be in contact with you.
You know what? I love that. I love that you said that.
They're all ready.
Now that's the way you do it, right? That's old time sales, right?
Yeah, and so ViraBlock and the Safe Room initiative that we have is all about doing our best for the industry. And the decision we made around how we would price it, in other words, not raise our prices to sell it, and all of our other parts are real important to us. And we already know that has not gone unnoticed. And it's not about notoriety for us. It's about doing the right thing.
Right. And you guys do the right thing all the time. And it reminds me of one story about where you guys did the right thing big time. I don't know if I'm sure you remember this one, Steve, but back in the day when La Quinta was an independent company, they held an annual event in New Orleans. This at the time was Wayne Goldberg. And what you guys did was, for their annual event, they wanted to do the world's biggest, for the Guinness Book of World Records, the world's biggest domino fall featuring mattresses. And I don't remember how many they had. It was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
There was around 800 mattresses, something like that. And Wayne had come to us, and they always had some big event during their annual GM conference. Wayne came to us and said, "Could you do this?" So we thought about how to put this together. So lo and behold, here come the mattresses. We get it all put together. We're in the the New Orleans Convention Center. And we're at the very beginning, and we dropped first, and it was flawless. And we did a walkthrough at about 2:00 in the morning. That was pretty interesting. But that's not the big part of the story. That was the fun part.
Right.
The most important part was every one of those beds after that event was donated into the marketplace through, I think it was 4 agencies, and families and kids had a place to sleep during the next night because they all went to them. And quite frankly,
amazing.
Yeah, and quite frankly, let me take that to another level. At the beginning of the COVID epidemic, we saw a need for relief mattresses for temporary housing, temporary beds, like at Javits Center and places like that. Mm-hmm. So we created a product, and we did this in conjunction with the Relief Bed, which is an amazing charitable organization that we have in a relationship with. And we delivered 10,000 relief beds, and to New York City. Subsequent to that, we went at very low prices or more donations, and went to other agencies and places that needed help. Well, in particular, in those first 2 months where things were so desperate, and particularly in New York City. And that's just part of who we are as a company. And everybody's very proud of us for that.
You know, and when you say it, it's not just you're saying it, you feel it. You're talking from your heart, and you can see it and sense it, and you can see your emotion in your voice and in your tone. So thank you for everything you've done. And, that's why you're such a big part of our industry.
Well, it's a pleasure. It's great to spend some time with you, Anthony, and Glenn. You're great. We appreciate this time.
You know it's not true. Don't tell him that.
Come on, he's trying to make me feel good before the weekend.
He's an old friend. I just talked to him. His kids are 16 years old. I remember when they were born.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's okay.
Well, Steve, it's great to meet you, my friend.
Thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure. Thank you, guys.
I really, really appreciate it. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you in September. Wow, how awesome is that? All right, so question from Michael. If Las Vegas hotel mattresses could talk, what would they say? They'd say, oh, God, please, not again.
No, what they would say is, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? One time, I always meant to ask Steve, I think I did a number of years ago, but I'm pretty convinced that Las Vegas mattresses need to be replaced a lot more frequently than mattresses in other cities where people aren't having as much fun.
It comes down to occupancy. I don't care what you're doing in the bed. It comes down to occupancy. And, New York City, when we're running 95% occupancy all year long, I mean, those beds get a little worn relatively quickly. But it depends on your marketplace. But what a great guy, what a great company, and what a great product.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And I want to thank Steve and the team for Serta Simmons to put this together, because we really are trying to help you not just learn information and insight about how to run your business, but also the things in your hotel that are going to help improve your business. And I think that fell squarely in there. And Anthony, if I'm making an observation about this, I'm blown away by the fact that they're not going to charge more. You'd think now, with a flagging economy, they would be doing their best that they can to make more money, but they see this is so important that they just want to get it out into the marketplace.
Well, you know what? And that's one of the reasons, as you know, I don't work with a lot of companies that I'm actually going to work with them. So because of all of these things that you're talking about, I mean, we need to ensure that we can do everything we can to keep our customers safe. And you know what I loved about Steve? His transparency, whether it be about approvals, whether it be about this isn't, this is going to save the day. It's like his honesty, his integrity, his authenticity is so vital in today's industry, especially when you're in a position like that. So I look forward to working with them. And Glenn, did you notice that the logo goes with my suit and tie today?
Oh, it really does. It's almost as if we worked on that ahead of time. I like that. And it doesn't go with my tie because I gave those up years ago.
So what are you doing this weekend?
What am I doing this weekend? I don't know. I think just kind of trying to recover from the week, pretty much.
Really?
I don't know. Hopefully sit in my backyard and just chill out. I really need a little bit of downtime. I'm a little burnt out right now.
Really? Well, take a nice vacation. What's going on with our little secret trips? Are we going anywhere?
Working on it, man. I'm working on it. People are being a little cagey right now, so it's getting a little difficult. But we just show up.
We just show up with the equipment and we go.
I think we should do that too. And,
I'm seriously. The two hotels that we're talking about, let's just show up, and if we're able to do it in the lobby or with the exec, fine. If not, we'll do it in a hotel room.
I think that's a great idea. All right, I'm going to go send some notes right now, threatening them that we're going to show up if they don't capitulate to our demands. All right.
No, I think it's important to showcase those hotels, and then it's important to get my pants back on and leave my house. But
I would definitely agree. It's important for you to at least get your pants back on. I don't care if you leave the house, but the pants is a must.
So, do you know what I'm doing next week?
Maybe.
What am I doing with Hospitality Success? What are we doing with?
I believe that you've got an incredible webinar happening on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So you could register for that now at hospitalitysuccess.com. Is that correct?
Right. It's the 21st. I want to make sure at 2:00. It's Ask the Expert. I'm an expert apparently, and my partner Jeremy is also an expert, and we will be talking about what you can do, with the 7 factors you can do to kind of transition your hotel. And really what has changed, there are a lot of great management companies out there, but there are a lot of great management companies under stress. There's a lot of great brands out there, but a lot of great brands under stress. And one of the things that we looked at about a year ago, we saw not obviously COVID coming, but what we saw is we saw a change in the marketplace where hoteliers were being, I wouldn't say controlled, but they're being managed by management companies and brands. And a lot of hoteliers didn't know the questions to ask. I know one of my favorite things to do is go into a meeting with an owner and have the owner just watch me talk to a brand or talk to a management company, because there is a way, in a sense, and the questions to ask to really understand your business. And so what we do is we teach owners and general managers really to understand your business at a real micro level. So whether you have a management company or you don't have a management company, you can ask those questions. I remember being in a meeting years ago, and there was a question with some fees, And I understood them because I used to go through bills, hundreds of $1,000s worth of fees every month. And I was able to ask questions that the owner wasn't really sure of. So I think now our company, Hospitality Success, really is kind of at the forefront of kind of a new type of management company where it's really not a management company, it's a learning company. So go to hospitalitysuccess.com, find out more. And 2:00 next Tuesday, it's free. It's me. Be there.
And if you're talking 2:00 on Wednesday, we got the 3rd episode of Hotel Reboot, and it's all going to be focused on refinancing and reinvesting. So if you're into real estate, this is the show that's for you. We're not talking about necessarily the things that are inside the hotel, but the financial dynamics that make the overall project successful. And we've got some amazing folks that are going to join for us. We got
Glenn?
We got Robert Webster, who's the vice chair, president of Hotels Institutional Group at CBRE. He's a guy that doesn't do any of these shows. He's that high up, but we got him for that show.
Whoa. He's too high for our show?
He's for most shows, not for our shows. After we give him a little Hotel Reboot love, we'll get him onto here. We got Orion Huntsman with Chicago Title. Vinay Patel, the vice chairman over at AHOA, is going to be joining us. Evans Charles with Frontier Development. You've seen him before here on a show that we did on diversity. We're going to get him back on here at a later date to talk about his business as well. And Keegan Bish. He's with Stonehill Strategic Capital. So all the money guys, all the real estate guys, all of that kind of stuff, check it out at hotelreboot.com. And of course, subscribe to our newsletter. Text the word hotel to 66866. That's hotel to 66866. Any final thoughts before we go to the weekend?
If we've proven anything, that we get the players. And on your show, on your reboot, or whether it be this show, we get the players. And you want to hear it first. And this is the place players go to understand. This is the place where the executives go to understand what their competitors are doing, what everybody else is in the market. Like we just announced, a product from Serta Simmons that really nobody knew about.
Yep.
Like you heard it here first. You heard it on our show.
Yep.
And so it's so please go remind everyone when it is Wednesday again, please.
Wednesday, 2 p.m. Go to hotelreboot.com to register. And of course, go to hospitalitysuccess.com to register for Tuesday's webinar at 2 p.m. So you're getting a whole lot of great content next week from courtesy of Anthony and myself.
Wow, we're so nice. We're so nice, Glenn.
We are so loving and
all right, take us out.
All right, guys, I'm off to go do my classic motel puzzle. Not really. I got more work to do, but maybe this weekend I'll get that done. Guys, remember, you are pulsating with love and light. You are vibrating with love and light. Each and every one of us is special. You just have to remember and recognize it. And you've only got one life, so blaze on and
be kind to yourself.
I like that one. See you guys on Monday.